What's up, everybody? Sunkist here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over my go-to infestation farming build. This is going to be based around an Infinite VATS Pepper Shaker, and it'll be on a full health human. I will give some advice on how to run it as a ghoul build if you're interested in doing that as well. And I'd like to know down in the comments what you're liking about the season so far, and would also like to know if you've been lucky enough to learn any of the new legendary effects. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and hype the video if you're on mobile, and I'll catch you at the end. All right, let's see what we do here. Yeah, I mean, so far we just melted the level 200 super mutant infestation boss. So, all right, taking a look at the weapon we're going to be using here today, we have a pepper shaker, and it is equipped with the legendary effects quad, rapid, VATS optimized, and conductors. And this setup is pretty much just going to give you unlimited VATS with a pretty good damage. I have the hex barrel on there, the plasma magazine, standard sights, and then this is the Spitfire paint if you're curious. I'll go over how to get the pepper shaker in just a moment here, but move on over to our armor. I do have a full set of Vulcan Power Armor. Now, the legendary effects on this Power Armor set aren't necessarily optimized for infestations farming, but it is a pretty good set. So essentially what I have here is a full set of Chameleon, or sorry, a full set of Nocturnals with one piece Chameleon to activate the Nocturnal to give us extra VATS. You don't really need that with the Pepper Shaker, but it does work really well with other heavy weapons and VATS like the Gauss minigun. +2 endurance will give us a bunch of extra health to work with. These infestation bosses do hit relatively hard, so a little bit of extra endurance is nice. You could swap this out with definitely something else, not really needed, but I just like a little bit of extra tankiness. And through hikers is nice, so that way we don't have to run the perk cards in our perk slots, and then limit breaking so we can crit every other shot. The mods on the leg pieces are calibrated shocks. The torso has the kinetic dynamo, which just gives a little bit of extra AP. I might switch this out to a jetpack soon. We'll see. And then the arm piece, if I can find one here, has the gimbal bracers. So that way we get this really tight hip fire spread for when we're manually aiming. That has also a stabilized as a perk as well, but it's a good thing to have on your Vulcan armor. So the Pepper Shaker plan is acquired by completing Graham's meat cookout event that runs every few months. It is a pretty low chance to drop. It's about a 2% chance, but luckily this weapon is tradable so long as it doesn't have any legendary effects on it. So if you have a friend that knows the plans for it, they can just hand it over to you with the hex barrel and the plasma mag, and you're pretty much good to go. If you don't know anybody that can craft it, definitely make like a looking for group post on Xbox, PlayStation, or Discord, maybe even Reddit. You could definitely easily get your hands on one of these. Someone also might just have it in their vendor. So if you don't feel like waiting for Graham's Meat Cookout, then there's definitely other ways to get it. You'll have to kind of just tap the community a little bit to help you. As far as our mutations go, we're running Adrenal Reaction, Bird Bones, Eagle Eyes, Egghead, Healing Factor, Herbivore, Herd Mentality, Marsupial, and Speed Demon. Now, if all you care about is maximizing your damage here, the only thing I would say you really need is Herbivore, so that way you can get as much damage from Blight Soup as possible. Egghead will also buff your intelligence, and we are using a science card, so that will also buff your damage. Eagle Eyes gives extra crit damage, so that's pretty straightforward there. And then Adrenal Reaction gives you extra damage while on a kill streak. And when you're fighting in infestations, there's quite a bit of enemies, so you're almost always rolling with like a full stack of adrenaline, and it does make a pretty big difference in how much damage you can do. Now the buffs that I run, I do run a Psycho buff, and then occasionally I will pop a Big Gun bobblehead and a Tesla Science 9 for extra critical damage there. So yeah, that's the buffs and mutations. All right, taking a look at our special allocation here, we have 10 strength, 9 perception, 3 endurance, 4 charisma, 11 intelligence, 10 agility, and 9 luck. Just to clarify as well, so when you're by yourself solo, it gives you luck of 13, but I do believe when you're on a team, it'll knock this up to 16, and then that will give you the ability to crit every other shot with limb breaking as your 4th star on the armor. So looking at our legendary perks to start here, we have 5 special points, and then taking 1 for the team. Over in strength, we have pretty much fully spec'd into Bulletstorm, and then also a little bit of some shotgunner / crippling cards. So bring in the big guns, shotgun champ, easy target, Bulletstorm, tightly wound, and arms keeper. Tightly wound is not really full. It's not fully needed, but it is a really nice quality of life perk to have. It does spin the weapon up quite a bit faster. Number cruncher for extra damage, downranger for more damage, tank killer for more damage, green thumb because I am an herbivore and I do like harvesting stuff when I kind of come by it, and it's just convenient to get extra yield, and I just had enough space for it. Not needed, but nice to have. Concentrated fire for extra damage and VATS accuracy. Awareness for extra VATS accuracy. Over in endurance, we have life giver to be a little bit more tanky. Thirst quencher to get our AP up. Bulletstorm so we can reflect back some damage back to the enemies. They can be a little bit tough of enemies in these infestations, so bullet shield definitely helps a bit. Vaccinated to keep our disease resistance high, so that way thirst quencher is still giving us as much benefit as possible. Sarge genes to keep our mutations. Strange in numbers to buff those mutations. Travel agent. This one is actually really nice to have when you're doing infestations because the enemies drop a lot of junk, ammo, and legendary weapons, so you'll actually become over encumbered pretty quickly. So being able to fast travel to like White Springs, your camp, or any of the other free fast travel locations is very nice when you're farming infestations. Tenderizer for extra damage. First aid is nice because it'll help you heal up a little bit faster when you spam stimpaks. Power user, since we are using this as a heavy build. Stabilized. Science for extra damage. Batteries included because we are using plasma cartridges and carrying fusion cores, so it would be pretty heavy if we did not have this curator, because I do run bobbleheads and magazines occasionally. Over in agility, we more or less just have all of the onslaught, gunslinger, gorilla, those type of cards. Those are all maxed out, except for gorilla is just at 2 ranks. 1 rank of gun fu for target swapping. Again, there's a ton of enemies at those infestations, so this is a really nice card to have, and it also gives a little bit of extra damage too. And also stacking the adrenaline card with the adrenaline mutation. When you do get full stack of adrenaline, it really ramps up the damage. So most of the times I take out the henchman, if you will, and then I'll fight the infestation boss with a full stack of adrenaline, and it really just melts. Over in luck, we have better criticals, 1 gun army for limb damage, ricochet, 4-leaf clover, class freak, and critical savvy. And that'll do it for the perk cards. All right, looks like we found an infestation, so let's see what type of enemies we're gonna get here. So far, nothing out of the ordinary. Let me get back in our power armor here quick, so we don't just get insta-melted. They're gonna be over this way, maybe by the. Oh, yep, there they are, over here. So we got super mutants as the enemy type. So far, I'm making pretty short work of them, honestly. Those first 2 henchmen didn't really stand a chance. Go first person to zoom in a little more here. Yeah, so far it's kind of just melting through everything. Some bullet storm stacks built up here. All right, let's see how we do here. Yeah, I mean, so far we just melted the level 200 super mutant infestation boss. So, all right, we found another infestation here at the White Springs Golf Club. So we're gonna go ahead and see how we can do here. I'm not sure if my buffs are going right now, so let me make sure I got those going here, at least for food. So let me make sure I take my blight soup. That's the one I really care about. Holy enemies. Okay, well. I guess we'll just let Gunfu do its thing here. Well, hopefully that didn't send too many of the bodies flying. Made pretty light work of all them there. So many freaking legendaries, man. This guy's got a Tesla cannon. Alright, now we're gonna get a good stack of adrenaline here, get some bullet storm built up, and then we're gonna go mess this guy up here. Oh, he's invisible, of course. Not for too long, though. Yeah, I mean, that's still a pretty easy defeat there. Thank you so much for making it to this point of the video. I really do appreciate it. I can only assume that you've enjoyed the video so far if you have made it this far, so don't forget to subscribe to stick around for future videos. If you'd like to check out my previous video, that will be on screen now, and I hope to catch you in the next video. See ya.